Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. It's a moment to be thankful for what you have, to appreciate time with your family, and in general, it's just time to have a good time, kick up your feet, maybe drink a little bit if you like to partake in that. You know, it's a holiday. But of course, you know what that means. Holidays are actually deeply sinister and evil, and you should feel bad. Here we go again, with these totally stable, definitely not buzzkill, anti-fun liberals trying to ruin, yet again, another holiday. Oh man, can we just have a break for 5 seconds from the miserable left-wing virtue signaling about how everything is just so deeply problematic and troubling and should be abolished and destroyed and probably replaced with some sort of woke holiday? I don't know. I'm assuming there's probably some sort of push to replace Thanksgiving with some sort of minority appreciation day holiday or something like that. But yep, here we go again as liberals try to ruin Thanksgiving. Like the damn Grinch, here we go again. Let me show you guys what's going on. And let's of course talk about why it's, well, frankly, stupid. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks. So what are you doing on Thanksgiving? Carving the turkey, spending time with your family and your loved ones, sitting at the dining table, laughing it up, reminiscing, hopefully not talking about politics? Well, you're wrong. In fact, you're a bad person. What you should be doing is repenting. What you should be doing is probably going to the bank, tapping into your life savings, and donating that money to reparations efforts. Oh man, here we go. What a turkey. Hateful MSNBC anchor Joy Reid trashes Thanksgiving as simplistic fairy tale and says America was founded on violence.
Thanksgiving, the day we gather with friends and family to enjoy turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, and pumpkin pie. We throw on the game, catch up on our lives, and then discuss, or quite possibly argue, about religion and politics. For millions of Americans, it's a day of cherished traditions. And as Americans, we certainly value those traditions. But it's also important to unpack the myth of Thanksgiving. It is a holiday riddled with historical inaccuracies, built on this myth that the indigenous welcomed their colonizers with open arms and ears of corn, a simplistic fairy tale interpretation of a 1621 encounter between indigenous tribes and English settlers that erases the genocide that followed. It's the truth Republicans want banned from our textbooks, because here's the secret they want so desperately to keep. We are a country founded on violence.
See what she did there? Starting off kind of rational, describing Thanksgiving as what it is, and then immediately, Republicans, evil, racism, a country founded on violence, and Republicans trying to censor those facts. Jeez, get a grip, lady. I mean, come on. I mean, these leftoids wonder why we find them so incredibly insufferable. Stop it. It's a friggin' harvest festival. Thanksgiving is a federal holiday in the United States, celebrated on the 4th Thursday of November. It is sometimes called American Thanksgiving outside of the United States to distinguish it from the Canadian holiday of the same name and related celebrations in other regions. It originated as a day of Thanksgiving and harvest festival, with the theme of the holiday revolving around giving thanks and the centerpiece of Thanksgiving celebrations remaining a Thanksgiving dinner. The dinner traditionally consists of foods and dishes indigenous to the Americas, namely turkey, potatoes, usually mashed or sweet, stuffing, squash, corn, green beans, and cranberries, and of course, pumpkin pie. The most prominent historic Thanksgiving event in American popular culture is the 1621 celebration at the Plymouth Plantation, where the settlers held a harvest feast after a successful growing season. Autumn or early winter feasts continued sporadically in later years, first as an impromptu religious observance and later as a civil tradition. The Pilgrims celebrated at Plymouth for 3 days after their first harvest in 1621. The exact time is unknown, but James Baker, the Plymouth Plantation Vice President of Research, stated in 1966 that the event occurred between September 21st and November 11th, 1621, with the most likely time being around Michaelmas, the traditional time, September 29th. And so, historically, it's a celebration of a successful harvest that allowed a community to continue living because they had food, and they were happy that they had food, which would then allow them to survive a harsh winter. I mean, why do we have to get so negative all the time? Why do we have to be so self-hating and self-loathing? Can we not just celebrate life and a good harvest? Can we not just have a holiday in peace to be thankful for what we have and the society that's been built here in the West? Do we constantly need to be nitpicking and going back and trying to fact check history or alter history to look at all of the negative and focus on all of the negative and continue to try to create and inflame all of this divisiveness between different types of people. And even if the history of Thanksgiving, based on the original context in 1621, even if that historic account is totally inaccurate, what does it matter? It became a federal holiday in the late 1700s. And it's simply a harvest feast and harvest celebration. What leftoids need to understand here is that people just don't care. There's bigger problems in American society than constantly trying to dwell on all of the negatives of the past as if that's gonna change anything or solve people's problems. It's not. We know this from personal experience, basic life experience. If I notice somebody who's highly negative all the time, constantly miserable, and always going on and on and on about how they were wronged in their life and their upbringing was dysfunctional and life wasn't fair to them, I'll tell you one thing. That person, first of all, isn't in a good state of mind at all and probably isn't going to be able to move forward and progress and do something significant with themselves and with their life. Because success comes from the ability to move forward, to improve, to not dwell on the negative, but to take the positive from the negative, to allow things to make you stronger and better and more resilient to move forward. That is one characteristic that is a common denominator between all people that are successful. If it doesn't work on a personal level, then why the heck would we be doing it on a cultural level? Yes, let's just dwell on the negative and constantly complain, constantly mope around and complain about how things aren't fair. And I can't do this because of things from the past and, the reason everything's happening to me, it's not my fault, it's history's fault. That's a broken mentality. That's a mentality that leads nowhere, at least nowhere good. And most Americans know this. People don't want to deny history. They just don't want to overemphasize all of the negative in history and constantly dwell on it because it's divisive and it's unhealthy and it's not a good thing. American history and Western civilization right now is in a good place where race and social class doesn't matter. You want to talk about where race matters? In most of the Asian world and in the Middle East. Well, in the Western world, it doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. It doesn't matter whether you came from absolute abject poverty or a broken home. If you work hard, if you're competent and you get the job done, you will succeed. Nothing can get in your way because it's a basic meritocracy. People don't care what the color of your skin is. They care what you can do and what you can provide. What skills do you have? What is your skill set? What are you selling? What are you doing? What are you offering? Maybe we should spend more time on that instead of trying to rewrite history and trying to frame it in a negative way and creating this oppressor versus oppressed dynamic and trying to pump that into the minds of kids, which is especially worse. Maybe it's just not a good idea. And maybe Americans just want to celebrate Thanksgiving and have a good time with their family without being lectured to constantly by the self-righteous woke mob. Maybe, just maybe. And maybe there's more important problems that America is facing right now, like the cost of living, the struggling working class, the struggling middle class, the fentanyl crisis, mental health crises. The list goes on. And maybe we should focus on actual wrongs that are currently happening in today's timeline in the present. Here's a great example. Joyanne Reid is going on about, Thanksgiving, the evil Thanksgiving. Meanwhile, the World Cup is currently happening in Qatar. Qatar is hosting the World Cup. International football. Wow, look at this stadium. Oh, wow, look at that stadium. Whoa, these stadiums are incredible. Revealed. 6,500 migrant workers have died in Qatar since World Cup was awarded. Actual slave labor in today's day and age. And we're gonna sit here and talk about Thanksgiving and how evil America is. Give me a break. This is why I will never take the sanctimonious left seriously. They don't actually care. Just like they don't care about the Uyghur genocide and human rights violations going on in China. They just love the convenience of their overpriced Mac products. They don't care about actual slave labor going on in the Middle East. No, they're too focused on healing the wounds and undoing the wrongs, changing the story and attacking the historical misinformation surrounding Thanksgiving. Wow, great job, leftoids. Really saving the planet through your woke activism. What a joke. That's what I got for you guys, though. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel if you guys are up for it. I gotta get out of here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.